Welcome to my October reading vlog, where the spookiness will never stop. And in the month of ghouls and goblins, I have read the spookiest book of all for my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemmingway. So that's one book for the month already done. It was very, very short. It's a novella. I've already finished it, and it is only 10:50 in the morning. So I don't have a lot to say about it that I haven't said already in my poster vlog, which will be coming soon. But the guy was good at sentences. I'll give him that. He has some good little sentences. Not all of them were a hit, but most of them I gelled with. There were some good sentences. There was an old man, there was a sea, there was a fish, and there was baseball. So that is one book already out of the way for my month of October. What am I going to read next? Hopefully something more spookier than The Old Man and the Sea. So that's my update. For now, day one, we're already making great progress. So let's see what I read next. Hello, this is just a mini update. I've been pretty busy this month. For the past couple of days, my partner has been visiting, so I haven't been able to update you there. And now I will be going to my father's for a week to house and dog sit. I am bringing a few books, so I may update you there, but that is my general life update to explain the change in possible scenery. And the more important thing is, I am officially halfway through this short story collection by Bram Stoker. I'm not going to be reading the bigger ones, that includes The Lair of the White Worm and Jewel of the Seven Stars, just because they are practically novella length. So far, I have read half of these short stories in here, and let's just say that there's a reason Bram Stoker's really only known for like one big thing and then like two little things. He writes a lot of these same things going on. It is usually a stuffy gentleman experiencing the supernatural, or not even experiencing the supernatural, just dreaming about it, getting scared, and then defeating it, whatever it is. He's not very creative in that way. He also likes to write out accents and dialects, like, on page, so it's really hard to read a lot of this writing. How am I supposed to read this? It's like in fan fiction when everybody would just write out their accents. Like, no. Bram, come on. What is this? Also, one of his short stories, The Squaw, the inciting incident and the rest of the plot is based around a brutal animal death, a baby animal death. So that was horrible to read. That wasn't good. I also know that in many stories he is a little bit racially insensitive, but unfortunately that is the gross time period he lived in. So I am prepared for that, but I wasn't prepared for the animal death. I haven't really liked any short story in here, so I will see at the end of the month what I rate this, but he's not that great, and there's a reason he's only known for Dracula, let's just say that. So that's my update for now. I will let you know soon what I read next. Say hi, Ginny. Okay. Hello. So there hasn't been an update in a while because I'm dog sitting for my dad. It's great. So my only reading update is that I'm reading a book called Dracula, My Love, The Secret Journals of Mina Harker by Syrie James, I think that's their name. And so far it is a pretty good retelling of Dracula if they added in the storyline that Dracula was seducing Mina way earlier, which is just a very Francis Ford Coppola thing to think. But so far it is pretty good. It's very well written and I've been compelled by it despite the fact that it is yet another Dracula retelling that I've read. But pretty good. I'm not bored by it and it doesn't seem too immature. So that's my update for now. I Also got an update that my library card's about to expire, and I'm not home to go deal with it, so I might lose all of the books that I want to read this month. No! Jimmy's kicking me. So that's it for now. Yes, I am finally home after dog sitting for a week. I took yesterday to just completely recharge and be at home and unpack and everything, and now I'm back to my reading. I finished The Secret Journals of Mina Harker by Syrie James at my father's house, and I ended up only giving it 2 stars. The first half of it was pretty good, a pretty good retelling of Dracula with some additional stuff added in to justify its existence, but then the second half of the novel was overly romanticizing the character of Dracula and excusing and justifying his actions, saying he didn't kill Lucy, the blood transfusions did. His brides, oh no, they're not actually his brides, they're his sisters, which is the funniest friend-zoning of his 3 women that I have ever seen. And also, he didn't kill anybody on the Demeter, they all went crazy and died. Just let Dracula be the evil vampire that he is. Why is this such a huge trope of excusing things that the villain did, like completely, rather than acknowledging it, discussing it, and seeing them work through it or move past it or deal with it? It's just pathetic, and it's a weak excuse to make a romance, and the romance itself was very weak anyway, so this book had no reason for existing. So now I am reading Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. I've actually never read this book before. It is a YA book, pretty popular around the Twilight era, and one that people think is actually really, really good. I am very surprised that I didn't read it in middle school or in high school, but I do have a memory of, in my middle school library, picking it up, reading the first chapter, and being very interested in the feeding scene between Lisa and Rose. I wonder why I liked it, but then I put the book away and didn't properly, think about it ever again. Oh, Sammy. I might have been going through some questioning, ha 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 ha. And I am also still kicking through the Bram Stoker's horror stories short story collection. I haven't found a single one I've liked. I read one about a pirate ship, and then I read one about someone getting trapped underground in Paris. Very boring. I wish something would happen in these books. So let's hope that happens before I'm done them. Anyway, that's it for now. Hello! Update time. So I finished the short story collection of Bram Stoker's horror stories, and I'm only giving it 2 stars because this guy can't write a really good story at all, aside from the ones that I've already read in this book, that being Dracula Snippets and Dracula's Guest, which is the deleted chapter from the original draft. All of the stories in here were really weak, they were really bloated, they weren't really scary, and a lot of the time he wrote out their accent phonetically, and it was really hard for me to understand. So I didn't really like anything in this book. The final story, The Lady in the Shroud, was one I at least appreciated, because the protagonist meets this very spooky, damp, wet ghost lady in his room, and realizes that she's dead in some way. She's either a ghost or a vampire, and he still decides to marry her. So he has his priorities straight, he has his head screwed on right. He's a bona fide monster fucker, and I do support him. And the other book that I finished was Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. I'm giving it 3 stars. This book has like 749,000 plot lines, and it all fits together and makes sense, and I was never confused. How did she do that? How the hell did she get 700,000 plot lines into like a 350-page book and have it all be concise like that? How do you do that? She needs to tell every other author how to do this, because most people either have not enough plot line or way too much plot line, and I get confused and bored. So this was actually pretty good. I'm very shocked I never read this as a teen when it came out. So 3 stars. If I find copies of the next books, I will try them out, but as a standalone, this was pretty good. So, and the book that I am currently reading is part of Kelley Armstrong's Women of the Otherworld series. This is the previous novel in the series. The book that I am currently reading is downstairs, but it's called Haunted, and it's about the ghost of a witch who has to go and capture another ghost who is possessing people and turning them into serial killers. So this is a really good series. It's an urban fantasy series featuring female characters who are all supernatural. So these ones were witches, there were werewolves, there's a medium, there's a vampire, and now I'm following a ghost storyline. So far so good, and I thought it would be a good way to end the month on just something light. So that's it for now. Good morning, everybody. It is a very, very rainy day today, so I thought I would cheer myself up, get into the proper holiday spirit by reading Bunnicula by James and Deborah Howe. So this is going to be really cute and really fun, and I'm really excited to read it. As expected, Bunnicula gets 5 stars. It's really cute and really sweet. The cat thinks that Bunnicula is a vampire, and the dog tries to protect him from the cat's antics. It's really, really cute, and Bunnicula is just like a little sweet little bunny, and I really, really like it. This is really, really cute. I hope to find like the other books in the series soon. It's really cute. Wanted to show off my cute Halloween socks. There's a ghost and a pumpkin and bats, and it says "Let's Hang," and I just think that they're the cutest things in the whole wide world. And then this shirt says "Caring for Your Demon Cat," and then there's Gus, basically. And my earrings are really, really cute too. I just wanted to show off the entire outfit. Alright everybody, it's wrap-up time. So life-wise, I had a pretty busy October, but reading-wise, I managed to sneak in 6 books, so let's discuss those now. The very first book that I read for this month was for my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster, and that was The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemmingway. I only gave that 2 stars because it was short, sweet, to the point, but it didn't really capture me as well as it should have. It's just, you know, that boring 20th century American novel, so I wasn't very interested in it. Next, I read Dracula, My Love, The Secret Journals of Mina Harker by Syrie James, and I also only gave that 2 stars. It started off alright, but then it just became them trying to excuse all of Dracula's actions from the original novel and trying to justify them or say that he didn't actually do anything wrong for the sake of making him a romantic lead. Now, when I have villains in love stories, I want them to be villainous. I don't want all of their actions to be retroactively explained and excused. I hate that. I want my villains to be villains, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that sentiment. Additionally, the book tended to just fart around and take away a lot of the immediacy that even the original novel had. That original novel is long and boring. One of the plot points is Mina knowing the train schedule. And this book managed to make it that more drawn out, that more just boring to get through. Dracula attacks Mina, and then they go shopping! They should be going to capture Dracula! It was awful. They also added this very terrible subplot of Mina trying to find her parents, her birth parents, and she ended up being a G word, Roma, you know, that old word was used a lot, and for some reason that needed to be added to the plot. Why did that need to be added to the plot? Mina and her parents don't matter at all. So Dracula trying to help her find her birth parents? Stupid subplot. Boring. I didn't like this book very much. It started off okay, it was telling the story well, and then it just became bad. And I hated it. Not to mention the friend-zoning of Dracula's brides. Oh, those weren't my brides, they were my sisters. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Next, I finally read something a little bit better, and that was Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. This is a very popular, very iconic YA vampire story about two girls, a Dhampir and a Moroi, who go to Vampire Academy. They struggle with cliques and people trying to kill them, and their own personal struggles being a Dhampir and a Moroi princess. And I really liked this. This was jam-packed with like 746 plot lines, and they all worked. I wasn't confused at all. There was one point where I was getting boys' names mixed up, but that's just boys. This is good. This was good. And it's like really succinct and good. And the writing style was very like of the time period, like teen speak. And there were some parts in it, self-harm and a few insults that I didn't enjoy, but that's how teenagers act and talk. So it was very realistic. This was good. If I find any more of the books in this series, I will check them out. I then read all but 2 stories in the Bram Stoker's horror story collection, put together by a random publishing company, so there's not really an author. This was, I don't like any of the stories in here. Bram Stoker isn't a very good writer in my opinion. He writes very samey, very drawn out stuff. A lot of his stories are very similar to each other. I got a lot of them mixed up in here. A lot of them were very boring. I understand a lot of his inspirations of his childhood and the experiences he faced as an Irish person, but it's just boring. He's boring. 2 stars. Boring, boring, boring. I then read the cutest story in the entire world, which is Bunnicula by James and Deborah Howe. Oh my god, this is the cutest little story in the entire world. It's about this bunny being found by a family, and the family cat and dog trying to see if the bunny is a scary vampire who sucks all the juice out of vegetables. Is the cutest thing in the whole world. Bunnicula is the sweetest little baby that I've ever seen. I love bunnies and I love vampires, so this was the perfect story for me. I read it in one day. I loved it so much. 5 stars, of course. Oh, it's so cute. I then finished my month out by reading Haunted by Kelley Armstrong. Now, this is book 5 in the Women of the Otherworld series, which is her urban fantasy series featuring women of various supernatural species. So this one is about a demon who became a ghost, and she has to hunt down this spiritual entity that possesses women and turns them into serial killers. Now, the character in this book, Eve, she's not my favorite, and this storyline was a little bit dull, so it wasn't as exciting as the other books in the series, but I do appreciate her having her own story in this. So I'm giving it 3 stars. Like, it's fine, it's good. It's, so far my least favorite in the series, however, but what can you do? There's also a pirate subplot in here. They're in the ghost world, so there's various, settings that you can go to as a ghost or as a spirit in the afterlife. In one of them, it's like a Disney World theme resort where they all dress up and act like pirates. It was really weird. I don't know what they were looking for. They just went to Pirate Land for like 60 pages. So anyway, yeah, that was this book. And that's it. That was my month of October. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my 1-year anniversary of making reading vlogs, which is crazy to me. This year went by so quickly. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I will put out a proper video aside from a reading vlog next month. I was just way too busy this month. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Happy Halloween. Woo!